What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today is all about my custom Nike ID Phantom Luna 2s. I'm very, very excited to get these on pitch. Obviously, I did order the AG model because that's my favorite sole plate from the Nike Luna and GX line. I think the AG sole plate is fantastic. I wore it a ton last year with that custom black pair of GX ones, and I'm expecting these to perform just as well as they did last year. Now, we're gonna talk all about fit, feel, finish. I have worn these now once on AG. Yes, there's turf stuck on the bottom. Have worn these once on AG for a training session and then once for the short that I did about it. But let's hop into the video and we'll talk all about how they fit and feel. All right, here we go, getting them on feet. I do have a pair of WeFoot grip socks, so you can find a discount code in the description box below. Code NOAH20 for 20% off. Really appreciate, help support the channel and also get some really, really good grip socks. All right, getting them on feet is fairly easy. And then just readjusting the collar. Boots fit absolutely fantastic straight out of the box. The Luna 2 is obviously the same boot as the GX 2, just with the collar. And you might be asking, Noah, you always say that collars are pointless and annoying. And I would say, you're right, absolutely. But you know what? They didn't have the GX 2 in Nike ID yet, or Nike by You as it's now called. And so because of that, I said, you know what? We're just gonna go with the Phantom Luna and deal with the collar. And no, I'm not gonna cut it off because I don't wanna ruin any of the knit material. I don't want it to like come undone or do anything stupid. But honestly, these have been a pleasure to wear and I will sure to be enjoying these moving forward. Straight fit out of the box. The GX2 and the Luna 2 are probably one of the most comfortable boots for my foot shape straight out of the box. I don't really have a problem with narrow toe boxes. This is definitely more voluminous than the previous generation, and it's quite a bit wider. And so you're gonna find, like there, you can see, I'll step back a little bit, you can see the shape just fits fantastically well straight out of the box. There's no kind of weird creasing. It fits the shape of my foot perfectly and it's already molding. That's one thing that the grip knit absolutely just, it's so good straight out of the box because they've improved it. They've made it a one-piece upper now so that, you know, it's very soft, it's very moldable, and it's gonna fit pretty much any foot shape. All right, getting into some footwork, I imagine we'll feel the sole plate pretty much straight away. Oh yeah. Yeah, so good, eh? I mean, yes, this is an AG plate, so it's built for this type of surface, but it just feels so neutral and grounded and like distractionless. Oh, like this sole plate is a absolute knock out of the park for me. Not because it's sensational, but just because it's like, it's so easy to use and it feels so natural because I've done it and worn this sole plate for so long now. One of the things I think this grip knit upper does really well is hold your foot in place and on the sole plate. And although the boot doesn't have, you know, fly wire cables or anything like that, anything that's gonna like really, really hold your foot in, I think they've done a really nice job with the texturing of this upper, making it really, really locked in and sort of like very, very sock-like. I would like to see maybe further down the road, I would like to see potentially Nike do a little bit more of a responsive sole plate. I feel like in recent history with the GX1, the GX2, Luna 1 and Luna 2, obviously they have kept the Luna sole plate, but I feel like they could use, especially here in this midfoot area, I feel like they could use stud patterns that are a little more responsive. So we'll see how it goes in the rest of the training session, but last year with all the experience that I've had, that was kind of one of those things that I noticed was just like the lack of responsiveness. But honestly, at the end of the day, the lack of responsiveness, like I say that, but I'm also a massive fan of this sole plate because it makes me feel really free to kind of do whatever sort of movements with the ball I feel like are necessary. And I don't feel like I'm restricted in any way, unlike some sole plates that have, you know, either carbon fiber or whatever else that make it really stiff, where I can't pivot and make really natural movements on a really hard surface like this. So I don't know, it's like both pro and con at the same time. And I think as well, one of the things you have to think about is the flexion of the sole plate is actually really important when you are on a surface like this that doesn't have a lot of give to it. And it's important that your feet don't get stuck in any particular position, which is why, number one, the studs are conical, but number two, the stud pattern is a little more flexible. So I don't know, I've played with like the stiffest sole plates on AG, and I've played with the opposite of that on AG, and I don't really know what I prefer, to be honest. It takes a lot of foot strengthening to feel super good on AG with a stud pattern like this. Now for dribbling, obviously, this is kind of the main feature of the Luna 2, which is the grip knit upper. So manipulating the ball with all different parts of your foot, making it super easy and manageable. I would say it's much less sticky. Obviously, it's a pretty warm day out today. Ooh, right over, yes. And so, but I'm not getting any slippage where I'm coming up to the ball and I'm trying to move sideways and I do one of the like trip and fall over the ball. That's something that happened a lot more with GX1, but I think that's mostly because that surface area was super, super flat. Whereas the ridges in the upper, this like cyclone patterning that they carried over from the Luna 1 into the Luna 2, make the surface area a little bit less intensive, so that while you're coming through these and going around and doing, you know, whatever ball manipulation you want, like any sort of like that movement doesn't feel overly sticky compared to, anything else on the market, even though it does give you that extra just little dosage of grip. Now this boot is obviously marketed as sort of a striker's boot, as a boot that's meant for, you know, passing, control, striking the ball. So hopefully we get a pretty good idea. Yeah, awesome. Okay, now that I'm gonna, make a boot make a pattern that isn't completely all over the place, let's figure out what we wanna do here. Point being though, is go around this side, touch, big play, around this way, touch, and back in the middle. There, touch, around, perfect. Big touch, sideways, back in. Nice. Yeah, so really feeling that grip knit as I'm taking these sideways touches, which I think is kind of the point of this type of boot. Really enjoying that striking surface overall. As you guys know, GX2 is like my favorite boot on the market right now, just from like a playing perspective. And these are no different other than the collar, which honestly, I'm not even noticing at this point. Which then just begs the question, right? Is like, do you really need to care? We'll go around the other side now. Do you really need to care about the collar? And the answer is not really. I would just buy whichever ones you have access to. And because I think the Luna 2 is actually gonna be less popular than the GX2, just because of who wears the Luna 2 and everything, I do think that the Luna 2 might be on sale. So that might be a good option to get the same effects that you would get on, God, I can't talk and play at the same time. Oh, one more time. But yeah, same effect as the GX2, but with the Luna. Very nice. One of the things that I'm noticing too is as I'm coming around the corner, those kind of turn this type of ball where it's back around the corner feel great. And that's going to translate really well to shooting. So it's all that one, and then it's this touch. So as I come and play the ball this way, nice amount of touch, boom, because this entire surface area, and actually let's get close up. So this entire surface area is completely flush to my foot. And yeah, you do have these little ridges that come on obviously the internal side, the medial side is what it's called, the medial side of the boot and on the lateral side of the boot. But because the upper is so kind of vacuum sealed to my foot, at least that's what it feels like because they fit so well, I am getting such a nice seamless sensation throughout the entirety of the touch experience, which means that I don't really have distractions because I've already gotten adjusted to the grip. Once you get adjusted to the grip, it really is hard to beat the touch of a knit boot like this that's number one, so soft, but number two, really thin on your feet. All right, into some shooting. Probably what you guys are all here for because this is like a shooting type of boot. At least that's what it's supposed to be. So coming out of these little cones and then really trying to whip it in to the back post while thinking about, okay, seamless sensation on the ball, really nice grip elements, and just an absolutely lovely striking surface. Now, I feel super at home and comfortable in this boot. That's also because I have so much experience in the first generation and obviously with the second gen GX as well. Luna 1 was a joke. It was really, really horrible. Luna 2, I do have quite a bit of experience now as well. So for me, this is one of kind of the best overall packages. It reminds me a lot of like GX1, Magista 1. It's definitely thinner and more, I would say it's definitely closer to Obra 1 than it is Obra 2. But good Lord, these are good. And yeah, just like, I mean, I know De Bruyne wears these as well, which is kind of dope, but they're so natural feeling and just, they kind of disappear on your foot, which I love. And that's one thing that I always look for in boots is that like completely distractionless striking surface, which regardless of whether you're, trying to bend a ball, whether you're trying to lace a ball, that distractionless surface and distractionless feeling where I close my eyes and I don't even have to think about the fact that they're on my feet because they're so lightweight, as well as being like actually utilitarian in the sense of like how good they are with their feature set. Man, nothing better, nothing better. Now, one of the major questions you guys are probably asking as well is, oh, yep, lovely, is, how are the ID model or how the Nike by You model compared to the regular edition? So I don't know if Nike like did this on purpose or whether this was, oh, geez, Louise. Or if it was just part of the design process in making like the technology of a one-piece upper. But I would say that the GX material, man, I'm on the right track. I just got to get this ball down. The GX upper, whether it was first gen, second gen, ID, regular, release, special edition color, I've tried them all. And they are all phenomenally durable. That's one thing that, man, look at that. Top bins every time, except not top bins. Gotta keep my head down. Phenomenally durable. Like, I still have my all black ID pair and they haven't broken. I have more to say, so I'll go to grab another ball. They haven't broken at all. Like, no fraying. Oh, there's a little bit of fraying, but like, I wore them basically every game last year, and just like, what the heck? Boots never last me that long, because I beat the crap out of them because I wear so many pairs all the time, and it's just unbelievable. Like, I don't know what their deal is, and that's an ID pair. People always say like, oh, IDs don't last as long, and yet here we are with a pair. Nice, that's better. With a pair of IDs. Obviously, this is only like the third or fourth time I've worn these, but they feel exactly the same as the regular edition. No complaints. I think I'm gonna put it down. I think GX2 and Luna 2 are some of the most durable boots on the market, hands down. Little crossbar challenge, of course. But yeah, it just is a boot, like, I don't know, man. I think these are just like one of the most comfortable, most all-around best boots you can buy. Cause like, what does this compare with, right? It's all the boots that were in my comparison video that you guys can watch like control boot / power boot. Also, rules, 1 left foot, 1 right foot. You only get 2. You gotta hit that crossbar. Here we go. Yep. Oh, so close. Right, so Tequila, Puma Future, SKX01, Predator, those are kind of the major ones. Yep. Aye. And this boot does such a nice job of just creating like the most seamless sensation. I would say the closest thing to this is the SKX out of that group, just as far as like fit and feel. But these, in my opinion, are hands down better than those. Righto, a couple free kicks, here we go. Setting up in the usual spot. This is kind of my jam right here, if I can, you know, manage to get these in. So yeah, SKX is probably the most similar, I would say, to these ones. But obviously those don't have like a sticky grip. So whereas if I come around a ball and I'm striking, I can kind of lay back on the whip because I know that the grip on these boots is gonna carry a lot more frictional strength compared to a lot of other boots. So even just like a little, so I'll try to hit this one. I'm gonna hit this one like kind of almost like messy style, like almost just like a chip up and over the wall. And I'll show you, or at least try to, kind of what I'm talking about with like the ability for the grip knit to be super frictional. So like that. So I barely tried on that one, and you see like it gets so much rotational movement. And then of course, like because of the way you have the off-center lacing system and you have just like such a clean striking surface, I'll do the next one a little bit different. I'll try to hit a little bit more power on this one. It's very easy to get like proper whip momentum and power behind your shots with something like this. See that? So like, yeah, okay, maybe obviously you gotta cool it off a little bit, but like that type of shot is so easy because it's just part of that natural strike pattern and you have such a clean striking surface for it. So anyway, let's hop into the final thoughts. All right, fam, that is it for the play test of the Nike ID Phantom Luna 2. I am a massive fan of this football boot. I think it is super, super comfortable straight out of the box. I have 0 issues with break-in time. As you guys saw, I would have taken the boots off during the course of this video if they hadn't been very comfortable. And for me, this is like cream of the crop as far as my foot shape. Now, if I were to tell you that everyone could fit in these, I'd probably be wrong. I think these are a little bit wider than, say, guys who can fit in a Vapor or even find the Vapor too wide. You are gonna probably not like these because these are gonna be, they'll soften up really quickly and they'll also probably be too wide for you. But for most foot shapes, I genuinely think they have nailed it with the shape of this. Obviously with an ID, I got my custom colors. Now, if you're somebody who is debating buying a pair of these and you're like, oh, but I don't really like any of the colors that are out, spend the extra 30 bucks, 40 bucks, buy the the GX2 is one of those boots that I absolutely feel like I can recommend to ID because you know, and I know, having tested ID ones, as I said before, ID ones, special editions, regular edition colorways, in GX1 and GX2, whatever they've done to this grip knit, it is one of the most, if not the most durable materials in the football boot market right now. And for me, that justifies you going out and buying an ID pair because then you'll get the color that you want and you'll get the stud pattern that you want. Some of you might really want the Cyclone plate, and that's totally fine. I find the Cyclone plate to be fine. It's horrible on AG, but it's actually really good. Not really good. It's like totally doable on FG surfaces. I tend to prefer conical studs, so I'm gonna go with these. But that way you get the boots that you want, and there's gonna be really little to no durability issues. And for me, that justifies paying the extra price tag for the ID. They're so comfortable, they're so good. I'm a sucker for these because I love them, and the Nike Phantom series has probably been, I would say, like, generally speaking, my favorite silo of any football boot lineage, if you will. And so it's like coming from somebody, again, take it with a block of salt. This is coming from somebody who has loved pretty much every Phantom that Nike's ever produced, and it's a boot that I love because of just the shape and the way it fits my foot. Now, that's kind of my thoughts. I love this color as well. That's also why I customized it this way. The white and gold just looks amazing, which I didn't touch on, obviously, in the course of this video, because you guys aren't here for the color, because you can go do your own colorway. Fantastic boot, fantastic fit, feel, finish. Couple minor changes maybe, but honestly, this upper is something else. This is probably my favorite, other than like leather boots, which are their own thing. I think out of the synthetics and the knits, this is my favorite upper on the market. I just love it. And yeah, that's just gonna wrap it up. I'm just gonna end there because there's really nothing else to say, because I love these, and I think, you know, custom pair, sick. So definitely I would go do your own. That is going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.